Hiya crafty folks, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to do some stamping and coloring with this awesome new to me stamp set and also some new to me markers from Ohuhu. Now they were kind enough to send them to me, and many of you have asked since my intro unboxing video to do a little color demonstration. So I'm going to use these awesome markers. These are the Honolulu B, meaning that they have a brush tip on one side and a fine tip on the other side. So if you missed my intro, I will try and remember to link that below in the video description box. But basically they sent me those 120 markers, and they also sent me a mixed multimedia paper pad. So today I'm actually going to be working on a 120-pound accent opaque, just because that's what I typically make my cards with. And I'm going to do some stamping with some Copic friendly ink, or alcohol marker friendly ink rather, and I'm just loading up these stamps in my original size MISTI. Now this is a half a sheet of cardstock, and I am using intense black ink from Simon Says Stamp. So this is an alcohol marker friendly ink. Now if you've stamped before and kind of had it bleed really bad and kind of smear the black ink around, then there's a good chance that you aren't using an ink that is designated for use with alcohol markers. So not all inks are the same, not all of them are for the same purpose. Here I was showing you my hex chart from Sandy Allnock, and here are the main colors that I'm going to use today, but I did end up adding some other ones. So if you want to take a screenshot of those, or if you want to wait a little bit, I will show you actually all the markers that I ended up using. So in the beginning, I'm just going to go regular speed so you can see how long it takes me to actually color, but then I will speed it up a little bit as we go on. And I'm not going to color all of them on screen just because I don't want the video to be too long. But I did want to show you kind of my style and let you know how these blend. I'll tell you right off the bat, I don't notice a huge difference between the way these blend and the way my Copics blend. I do have Copic Sketch, and I did mention in my previous video that I'm not super happy with my Copic Sketch. I found that a lot of them are drying out, or the tips are crystallizing. I think I have some of the little micro fractures in the caps, which is basically rendering them useless. So I was really excited when Ohuhu reached out to me and asked if I wanted to kind of demo some of their products. So they were very kind enough to send these to me. They didn't charge me for them, but I am going to give you my honest opinion. Somebody mentioned that they were more opaque than Copics. I'm trying to gauge whether I find that to be true. I guess it's a little hard for me because I don't just sit down and draw with them the way that my daughter does. My daughter, will draw from beginning to end, like no stamping. She'll do her original art and kind of color in really big spaces. So for my application with stamping, like coloring and stamps, I don't really see that as the case. Maybe they are. Maybe you've experienced this. I don't have issues with them blending. I'm going to show you here. One thing that helps with that, if you're having trouble blending, is to maybe get that Sandy Allnock hex chart. What that does is it really kind of gives you the insight on what colors blend well together. So that may be a factor. I will zoom in a little bit. You can see I kind of just have two colors, like a light and a dark. So I'm not one of those crazy blenders where I, have to have like 4 colors of the same color family. Now here I'm showing you the fine tip. This is really super helpful to get in those little tiny nooks and crannies around the eyes. Now, if you're familiar with alcohol markers in red, they tend to spread out more than the other colors. So a tip that I have for you if you're coloring with a red is don't go up right to the line. Go up just before it and it will kind of expand out. I will also show you what I do with a blending marker. You do get one of these in the set, the Zero blending marker, which is basically just seemingly pure alcohol. I actually use those more like an eraser, and I will show you that in a little bit later on. But I kind of sometimes go light to dark, sometimes dark to light. I would say usually more light to dark, and I'm kind of scribbling I don't do like perfect blends. I kind of like the scribble graphic look. So I'm a bit of a messy colorer in that way. I don't like to spend a lot of time. I don't want to pull out 5 purple markers to do a blend. Like I said, I'm going to do just a couple, like a light and a dark. So this set of 120 actually probably would work for me. I don't know if I'll end up getting full set syndrome and need to have all 320 colors that they carry. But so far so good. I'm really liking these. See, you can see I just did a light and a dark. Kind of simple. For some reason I wasn't filming there. I apologize. I just kind of took like a gray and a light, kind of really super light yellow, and kind of just did the body kind of a traditional hen color, I guess, on that. These are not really traditional colors. In fact, I had to ask my daughter, I'm like, what colors should I do with these? So she was kind of thinking Viva Pinata, if your kids play that game, with like red, yellow, and green. But I kind of went off the cuff and just played with colors that I wanted to. Again, you can see I'm just really scribbling in light and dark, not really using traditional colors because these aren't really, I don't know, traditional chickens. They're kind of whimsy and fun. So you'll see I end up even doing a rainbow one in a little bit just because it's fun and why not? And I'm really enjoying these markers. They're really juicy. They feel really good in the hand. They have these little like ledges on them, which will keep them from rolling off your desk, which is nice. You can get these in a brush and a chisel option if you prefer that, but this was one of the main things that I was super excited about with these, was that they sell them right off the bat with the option of one fine point edge and one brush nib. I will say these brush edges or brush nibs are more firm than the Copic sketch, which I really like. I find the Copic sketch, the second you start coloring with them, they kind of bend all wonky. Maybe you like that. I don't. I like it a little bit more firm. And as I mentioned in my intro video, the cool thing about the brush nibs, you can buy replacements now through Ohuhu, but the brush nibs are actually brush nibs on both sides. So if you do get wear on one side and it kind of frays and you need to change it out, you can actually just pull it out and flip it over to the other side. So you'll get 2 nibs out of every nib that you have, if that makes sense. And they have also started offering refills. They don't have their full color lineup yet. I think they have around 50 right now, but I'm under the impression that they're going to be adding to that line. Now here I'm showing you the blender. This is how I use it. I don't use it to blend colors. I use it as a glorified eraser. So here you can see I got a little crazy and went outside the line. So I'm just using it to kind of push that ink back in behind my stamped image. And you can do this a couple times. Another alternative is you can use a white gel pen to kind of cover up your mistake, but it works surprisingly well. So what a blender is basically just alcohol. So the more pigment you have in your marker, the less alcohol, the more rich the color is going to be. So the really light colors are going to be mainly alcohol with a little bit of pigment. So a blender is basically just all alcohol, and it kind of erases a little bit rather than blending. So here you can see I colored them all off screen. I will show you a little bit of fussy cutting, but I wanted to do some little highlights first. Take your favorite gel pen and just kind of willy-nilly add some highlights. It really does take your coloring to the next level, and you don't need to overthink it. Here I wanted to do some polka dots. It looked almost like a little bit of, I don't know, like a blanket or something that this chicken was wearing, so I wanted to make it decorative. I don't know. These are all just so graphic and fun. I have been going back to my Signo Uniball. That has been my favorite. You've seen I do all sorts of different white gel pens. I have many, and I kind of switch to whatever one tends to be working the best at the time. As you probably know, they all kind of clump up and act up at some point or another, but this Uniball has been the one that's working best for me lately. So if I remember, I'll try and remember to link it below in the video description box. These are my, I don't know if they're honeybee. I can't remember what these are called. I always forget. But these are my favorite fussy cutting scissors. The trick here is to turn the paper, not your scissors. So it helps with hand fatigue, and it also helps you to get kind of a cleaner cut. So I'm just going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. I won't make you sit through all of this, but if you find it satisfying, I will include one of them. I don't mind fussy cutting. I actually find it quite therapeutic. Gasp. I know I'm crazy, but I really don't mind it. I kind of find it a little bit less tedious just to do it myself rather than lining up dies if I have the coordinating dies. So I do like the look of a, die cut image, but if I don't have the dies, I'm not going to stress about it because, like I said, I don't mind sitting there fussy cutting them out. I kind of like it. So I'm just going to cut this out. And then hang tight, I will show you, do stick around, I will show you a finished card at the end. And I will show you also my storage solution for these critters. So I'm nearly done fussy cutting this one out. Let me know in the comments if you like fussy cutting or if you have to have the coordinating dies. I know some people just absolutely hate fussy cutting. So let me know in the comments where you stand on that, if you're team fussy cutting or if you're team die cutting. So I will kind of just push this aside. I want to show you some other critters. I was having fun watching some TV with my family and coloring in some images that I had stamped with these colored or with these markers, just to show you some other examples of things I've colored in. You can see I got really good blends with my style of blending. Again, like I said, I'm kind of whimsy with it. I like the kind of sketched graphic scribbly look. If that's not your jam, you can absolutely get the nice smooth blends, but this is just the way that I tend to kind of messy color. Now this is my binder for my critters. If you've watched me for long, you probably know I have one of these for my sentiments. I have my sentiment binder. These are baseball card pocket protector sheets. The ones that I use for my critters tend to have the little lip. I have a couple different variations of them. I have some that don't have the little lip and some that do. The ones with the lip tend to hold in these little tiny cutout images better, and they tend to be fatter pockets when I do it with critters, so I prefer these. I do end up grabbing a different one real quick. Here's what they come in. I get them from Amazon. I'll link them below, but these, like I said, have the little 1/4 inch lip that you lift up and it kind of holds all the stuff in the pockets so that it doesn't dump out on you if you kind of tip your folder, upside down or anything like that. So just loading these up, very satisfying to have those ready to go. So a bunch of critters ready for future card projects. And here is my finished card. I used an Altenew chain link fence. I will show you in a moment, and I used some card bling from A Colorful Life Designs. I have a coupon AmyFan10 if you shop for anything there. But here's a chain link fence 3D, and then here is the blingage that I use, Luminous Blue Skies. And that's my favorite bling from A Colorful Life Design. So I will link everything in the video description box below. If you expand and scroll down, you'll find those details. And when you follow those links, it really does help me out. So thank you so much for spending time with me, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.